Well, a little later in Samuel's life, as he becomes a prophet, a priest himself, the people of Israel come to him one day and they plead with him, appoint us a king. Now, here's a little theological technicality for those of you that love theology. What you need to realize is that up until this point, that the truth is Israel was a theocracy. And what a theocracy is it's one that's run by God. It is God-led. It was not a monarchy. It was not a republic. It was a theocracy. It was led by God. Now, Israel was the only country out of all of the countries that were being led this way. Every other country had a king. And as the people of Israel looked at all the other countries, they're like, hey, we want to be like everybody else. Kings are cool. And God goes to Samuel and he says, kings aren't cool. I'm telling you, kings aren't cool. And in the midst of all of that, the moment comes where God gives a message to Samuel to give to the people. And this is what it says. Samuel comes and says to Israel, if you have a king, this is how he will treat you. He will force your sons to join his army. Your daughters will have to make perfume or do his cooking and his baking. He will take 1/10 of your grain and grapes and give it to his officers and officials. He says, hey, in the way we're doing it right now, I don't need anything from you. I'm the God of the universe. But I'm telling you, this king is going to be a taker. They will take from you. He will also take 1/10 of your sheep and your goats. You will become the king's slaves, and you will finally cry out for the Lord to save you from the king you wanted, but the Lord won't answer your prayers. That's a pretty tough message to take, isn't it? God's like, this is going to end up bad. Do not do this. Corruption and abuse of power are coming your way. Choose not to do this. But even after the people hear this message, they're like, we want to be like everybody else. We want a king to rule us. And guess what they do? 1 Samuel chapter 8 says this, the people would not listen to Samuel. Oh, they said, we want to be like other nations. We want a king to rule us. So listen to what God does after he's badgered by them for a while. He says to Samuel, do what they want. Give them a king. And so he does.